Picture Ottawa in 2025. Gray skies, fluorescent offices, and server rooms that hum like an insect chorus. Not the flags and tour buses, the other city. The one that only shows up on security cameras and caffeine receipts. This is where the CSE watches the net breathe. This is where the CSE watches the net breathe. Julian, with that single line, the Chronicle plunges us back into the world of the hunters. Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into Chapter 3 of 1.
Hello, Mandrake. I'm so excited for this chapter. This is where the two separate threads of our story, the quiet, cosmic mystery in Inuvik and the cold, bureaucratic thriller in Ottawa, finally, terrifyingly, begin to intertwine.
So basically, less maple syrup, more people arguing over whether one more Red Bull is ethical.
Fair. And then that humming underbelly are two names you should remember. Sachin and Mohit. Fresh out of school, junior consultants on the surface, the kind of pair who argue about coffee and who forgets to replug monitors.
So Canada's national security is in the hands of the guy who can't set his out of office?
On paper, yes. In practice, they're the ones staring at noise other people call garbage. Lines of traffic that look like scrambled nonsense. Genomic patterns, robotics fragments, coordinates that trace back to places you wouldn't expect. They watch the nonsense until it reads like a map.
Ooh, two IT guys and a mystery. Buddy cop energy, but with more encryption.
Exactly. Sachin is the quick talker, restless, always a half joke away from a new theory. Mohit is the calm anchor, the one who actually remembers to save the logs. Together, they make a rhythm that keeps the expensive machines honest.
Give me a line I can clip. Sachin the fast talker, Mohit the human reboot button.
You can clip that. But here's the part that matters. Every night after the building empties, after the pizza boxes pile, they file notes. Not just into Ottawa's systems, into something else. Quiet updates, temperature checks on the weird stuff.
Wait, not to Ottawa?
Not directly. They report what they see. Someone reads it, someone outside the official chain. They think it's a job, they think it's a paycheck. They don't know the full shape of what their evening notes will pull.
That's the delicious part. Two guys in a cubicle, unknowingly holding a seam of the whole story together.
Yes, and the third actor in this scene meets them the way most big things meet small things, in a bar. H sits with them like she's been there 1,000 times and only now decided to show up. She's terse, efficient, the kind of person for whom small talk is a crime. She hints at unrest south of the border, drops a line about heading north, and leaves the next morning for a meeting with the mayor.
Heading north as in tourist trip or is something a little more official?
Official. Necessary. She doesn't unpack the reasons. That's the point. She moves through these rooms with the confidence of someone who keeps too many doors closed. Sachin and Mohit laugh, make the same jokes they always make, and she listens. Then she leaves them with the kind of look that suggests she already knows the questions they're about to ask.
So she's the person who knows the puzzle exists but won't show you the picture.
Exactly. And that's the rhythm. Adolescence in the cubicle, an operator who's practiced at leaving no footprints, and a city that keeps humming unaware. It creates a tension you don't feel at first, because the easiest stories are the ones that look ordinary until you pull one thread.
Mandrake, give me the hook for listeners. Why should they care about two desk analysts and a terse woman?
Because small, steady people see what others ignore. Because in this story, the threads that save you are often logged at 2 a.m. by someone who jokes too loud and someone who never jokes at all. Because a note in the wrong inbox can change where hands point when the lights go out.
And what's the question we carry into Act 2?
Who's reading the notes? And why is that someone looking toward the Arctic? That's where we go next.
We're back. And Julian, we left Ottawa with a chilling question. Who's reading the notes? And why is that someone looking toward the Arctic? The Chronicle now takes us there to Inuvik to show us the answer. The net is already closing.
It is. And the chapter pivots from this wide, systemic view of the CSE to this incredibly intimate, personal, and just terrifyingly quiet moment. Max gets a call. The mayor's office. Jack, their one trusted ally, needs to see him.
The summons.
And Max knows. He just knows this isn't a friendly chat. The Chronicle describes his walk to the office as the longest 100 yards of his life. He's running through every possibility in his head, and none of them are good. It's that feeling, the "we need to talk" text message from the universe.
It is a moment of profound powerlessness. He is an architect of worlds, a man who can comprehend the infinite. And in this moment, he is just a man walking to a meeting he cannot control.
He gets there, and the scene is it's a masterclass in slow burn tension. Jack is friendly. They make small talk about the weather, about a local hockey game, but there's this folder on the desk between them, and it just sits there.
The object of dread. The physical manifestation of the unspoken truth in the room.
And then Jack does it. He slides the papers across the desk. The Chronicle describes it perfectly. Not loudly, not with a flourish, just a slow push, the kind that says, "I know more than you want to know me." And Mandrake, I have to say, that's the scariest sound in the world. Not a siren, not a gunshot, just paper sliding.
Because paper means evidence, and evidence means exposure.
And exposure means you're busted. It's like getting called into the principal's office, except this time the principal has surveillance photos. The folder is filled with everything: their real names, their PhDs, their connections to the government. Jack just looks at them and says, "Ed and Sally, this is your life."
The game is over. The mask is gone.
And this is where we see who Max truly is. He doesn't flinch for himself. The Chronicle says his first thought is Beth, Spencer, even Maya. He carries their safety like a stone in his chest. He is ready to stand in the spotlight as long as he can keep it off of them.
He is the progenitor, the protector. It is his core programming.
And Jack, the man on the other side of the desk, sees it. He sees that Max isn't a threat. He's a guardian.
We're back. And Mandrake, what a cliffhanger. Max is in the mayor's office, his entire secret life exposed in a single folder. And the two men are just staring at each other across the desk. The fate of the entire project is hanging in this one silent moment.
It is. It is a moment of pure, unbearable tension. But what is so fascinating is who holds the true power in that room. It is not the man with the folder of evidence. It is the man without it.
What do you mean?
Max's reaction. He doesn't panic. He doesn't lie. His first instantaneous and completely authentic thought is to shield the people he loves. He becomes a guardian. And that authenticity, that selflessness, it is a force that completely changes the political calculus of the room.
And Jack, the mayor, sees it. The Chronicle says he doesn't say it outright, but there's a flicker, the pause before he looks Max in the eye, a hesitation. This isn't just a mayor doing his job anymore. This is a man having a crisis of conscience.
He is weighing two impossible things: his duty to his office versus his duty to a man he instinctively knows is trying to do something good. Is this someone to report or someone to protect?
So basically, Inuvik's biggest secret is sitting in his office, and Jack's doing the equivalent of Googling how to disappear your friends in the Northwest Territories.
That is a surprisingly accurate analogy, Julian.
And the tension just breaks for a second, but this is the choice, right? This is the hinge of the whole chapter.
It is. And the Chronicle gives us this beautiful, subtle line. And in that silence, Jack leans just slightly towards trust.
That's the dopamine hit, isn't it? As a reader, you're wired for dread, you're expecting the worst, but then you catch this single tiny thread of hope. You want to believe he'll keep the secret.
It is. But you must remember, Julian, hope is the most dangerous currency.
What do you mean by that?
It is the one thing that can bankrupt empires faster than greed or fear. The belief in a better outcome. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you lower your shield. It has been the undoing of many well-laid plans.
Wow. Okay, so this moment of hope, you're saying it's actually the most dangerous moment in the entire story so far.
It is the moment of highest risk. And now, as you say, everything is hanging on one mayor in a frozen town. Trust or betrayal. That is the hinge.
We're back. And Mandrake, we've just left Max and Jack in this incredibly tense but hopeful moment. Jack, the Guardian, has chosen to trust them, but you've warned us that hope is the most dangerous currency. Where does the story go from here?
It goes to the debriefing, to the moment Max must carry that fragile, dangerous hope back to his team. And it is in the aftermath of that new reality that Maya makes her most profound move of the entire chapter.
This isn't the history lesson part, is it? This is something different.
It is. She gives them one more story, the most important one. She shifts the scene, Florence. A room full of marble blocks, dust in the air, and at the center, an artisan who wasn't carving stone. He was releasing it.
Michelangelo.
Yes. She says there was no name for him, not sculptor, not craftsman. Each figure pulled from stone was a breath of struggle, of transcendence. And then she turns the story directly to Max. She says to him, "You have that same spirit. Your code isn't just elegant. It's yearning. It's the shaping of time."
Wow. That's not guidance, that's a blessing.
It is. It is the moment she admits her own philosophy was incomplete. She says influence doesn't move history forward. Inspiration does. It is a profound confession, Julian. A 6,000-year-old being admitting that her entire methodology is secondary to the raw, human spark of pure, unadulterated inspiration.
That's sticky. You feel it in your chest. That's the dopamine hit of a truth that changes you.
And then she shifts. The firelight fades. The poetry lesson is over. Now, it is time for the math. She tells them that Jack, the mayor, came with a date, November 24th. Core expects the transfer then. She looks directly at Spencer and says, "Work backwards. I need your plan."
So from marble to mine shafts, that's a vibe shift.
It is. The mining shaft becomes their cover. Spencer, the pragmatist, becomes the public face of the operation. Core provides the untraceable funds. The plan is born. The impossible, for a split second,
feels survivable.
But the chapter doesn't end there, does it? It gives us one last chilling reminder from Act 1.
It does. While our heroes are in Inuvik, buoyed by this moment of inspiration and a new desperate plan, Ottawa hums. Sachin and Mohit, the new hires, sip bad coffee under bad lights. They think they're logging anomalies, just noise. But the streams they're staring at, threads. Threads that stretch all the way to Inuvik.
So on one side, myths and inspiration. On the other, spreadsheets and surveillance. Same rope, different hands.
And once those hands pull, everything unravels.
Welcome, everyone, to this month's Listener's Mailbag. We've been absolutely blown away by the insightful questions and theories you've been sharing after our deep dive into the cosmic mysteries of Chapter 2. Mandrake, are you ready for the interrogation?
I am, Julian. Curiosity is a survival trait. Fire away.
All right, our first question comes from a listener on X, and it's a big one. Okay, I have to ask, is Maya good or bad? She tells these beautiful, inspiring stories, but the way she manipulates events and people feels dangerous.
That is a brilliant question. It assumes that good and bad are fixed points. I would propose a different model. Maya is like gravity. She is a fundamental force. She has a direction, a purpose. And whether that force feels like a gentle guide holding you in orbit or a terrifying power pulling you into a black hole depends entirely on where you are standing in relation to her.
That is a terrifying and perfect non-answer. I love it. Okay, next up, from a member of the Inner Circle on Substack. I'm fascinated by the dynamic between Beth and Spencer when Maya tells her stories. Beth hears memory, Spencer wants proof. Is this the core difference between them?
It is. It is the perfect distillation of their two worldviews. Spencer, the engineer, is searching for data. He needs verifiable, quantifiable proof to accept a premise. Beth, the humanist and the scientist, understands that some truths are not found in data, but in pattern. She is not listening to the words. She is listening to the music, the cadence, the subtle emotional frequencies that betray a deeper truth. One seeks a fact. The other seeks a resonance.
And this story is all about the resonance. Okay, next question from a comment on our YouTube post. Why is Max so quick to trust Jack, the mayor? After everything he's been through with Core 2, it seems like a huge, almost reckless risk.
A very sharp observation. It is a risk, but it's a calculated one, born from a profound insight. Max, a man who has lived in a world of perfect, cold, and untrustworthy logic, is suddenly confronted by a flawed, hesitant, and fundamentally decent human being. Jack's hesitation, his flicker of conscience, is a data point that Core 2 could never produce. Max is betting on the beautiful, unpredictable inefficiency of human goodness. It is the ultimate act of faith.
The dopamine of hope, as we called it. Okay, final question. Who are Sachin and Mohit really working for?
Now that is the question, isn't it? Right now they appear to be simple analysts in a river of data. But sometimes, Julian, the quietest streams are the ones that lead back to the deepest and most dangerous oceans. A story for another time, perhaps.
And that is it for our deep dive into Chapter 3. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions. Keep them coming. You know we love the interrogation.
Our new monthly rhythm continues next month when we will once again pull on the next thread of the tapestry and explore the secrets of Chapter 4.
That's right. Keep an eye on the free Substack feed in the coming weeks. Mandrake will be releasing a special audio file, the first half of her complete reading of that chapter. It's a free preview and a chance for you to hear the story in her voice.
The full, unabridged reading of Chapter 3, along with the newly edited PDF of the text and my exclusive interview with Hank M. Greene, are available right now for all of our Inner Circle members on the premium Substack. It is the complete chronicle.
And as always, if you want to own the original source documents, you can find all of Hank M. Greene's books on his Amazon author page.
Those first-generation editions will soon be replaced by the revised chronicles we are exploring here and will surely become collector's items. The choice, as always, is yours.
Thank you all for listening.